Okay, so this is in response to, I call it Cuervo, but I don't know how you'd pronounce it. His code, at CUERVO520. It just showed up today, a comment about doing the 4 count, the 5 count, the 6 count. So I'll do that, but I can't do a close-up any closer than it already is. It's an old camera there on a stand. It's right close to me as it is. I prefer to have at least my face in there if I can, even if I lean down, because it's more important what I say than what you're looking for on the fretboard. You know, yeah, you want to see where my fingers are, but that's not as important as listening to what I say, because I'm going to use A minor pentatonic for the example. We can use G, any key, but we'll use A to do the 4 count, 5, 6, 3. But the notes are, write this down, the notes of an A minor pentatonic is A, C, D, E, G. That's it. So remember, you don't have to start at an A note to play an A minor pentatonic. You can start at any one of those notes, the A or the C or the D or the E or the G. So I'm going to start at the E here for the A minor pentatonic. You know, these are the notes. That's how people come up with cool riffs. When you think A minor pentatonic, don't think having to start at an A note. Any one of those 5 notes. So the other important thing for everybody this is a must. Know the name of all the notes on the guitar. And when you're starting with the pentatonic, what I just said, now you should know the A minor pentatonic. It's an A, a C, a D, an E, and a G. And you can start with any one of those. You can start with a G and just play. That's an A minor pentatonic. I just started with the G of the A minor because there's an A, and remember the notes I said, that's what's in it. So we're going to start at the lowest point with an A minor pentatonic. I think I'm doing it slow enough so you can see where my fingers are and also watch what fingers I'm using. This is to develop. This isn't what you have to use for fingers when you create a phrase. Use whatever fingers work best for you. But what I'm going to show you in this video, use this fingering to develop the ability to use this fingering. And the fact is, like when I go here, you don't have to move your hand to go up the 6 strings. See that? If you were just using 2 fingers, your favorite ones, you'd be moving like this or you know, it'd be a stretch. So use the fingers I'm using in this just for learning and developing your fingers' sake, okay? And always alternate pick. This is tuned down a half step, so keep that in mind. Lately I've been playing, only 1 out of 4 of my guitars is in regular tuning. Another one's down a half step with a drop D, which is really a C sharp note because it's a half step down. And the other one's half step down. All right, just keep that in mind. So this, if you're going to play to this, tune yourself down a half step. All right, so I'm going to go up the A minor pentatonic, and I'm just going to go up it and down it. Watch my fingers. But again, what I said in the beginning of this video, I said what the notes are. Now learn them when you go up the fretboard. Then find them. Okay, they are where I'm placing my fingers, but I'm not going to sit here going 3rd finger, 4th, 7th fret, 9th, you know, that's beginner stuff. We're not beginners. These all just repeat themselves up here. This one. This one here. All right. So again, to play an A minor pentatonic doesn't mean you have to go to an A note. In fact, all my creativity comes from playing the other notes to give something more taste and tension, especially with diatonic scales. If I'm playing in the key of C major, I work on creating and playing all the notes of C major but never playing a C note. Meaning I'm looking for tension and resolve, you know. Anyways, okay, we'll go to the basic position for time's sake. And we'll go up this one. Alternate pick is a must. And we'll do a 6 count going up it. I call it physically down, but it's up note-wise. The notes are getting higher, so I call this up musically. And I call this down musically. Okay, so when I say up or down, I'm not talking physical, the sky or the ground. I'm talking the notes are getting higher, so that means up. All right? That'd be ascending, and this would be descending, okay? And that's always meaning because of the notes getting higher. Descending is the notes are getting lower, you know? All right, so 6 count, you would start with, if you started with the A, you go up 6 notes, 2 notes per string. Then after you've done those 6, you go back to the A string and go up 6. So you're constantly adding in 2 new notes. And then descending, the same principle. You start here, then start at the B string, G, and then when you just start playing it to get an even flow, don't try to play fast. Play slow. That's the best way to get good. Get to where you can play it nice and even, whatever speed it takes. And then do the same here. And down, both ways, okay? And then start up at the C note here. Watch the fingers I'm using. Takes a while to get them going, and I'm sloppy because I don't play these lately, okay? I just did it to develop the ability to do it, but when I phrase, I may not use the fingers I'm showing you to use here. I use whatever finger. I don't play thinking of counts. Once you learn these, sit with them. So, and you can also do it starting, say, with the back note, the note go closest to the nut, and go. You know? All right, so I never do that. You know what I mean? I don't even do these, picking them all. I do stuff. I don't pick all my notes, so I only did this to develop the ability and also to get the location of each block tight. You know what I mean? See, I'm 70 years old and I've had all kinds of health issues, nerve issues, and spinal surgery, and the numbness in the hands, Guillain-Barré syndrome. I was crippled at one time. I have trouble holding the pick. It's a miracle I can even alternate pick. So if you got the speed and it shows up early and you're playing, good, kudos to you. I don't have it. So anyway, so that's your 6 count, all right? And then your 5 count. Starting here, you go down 5 notes. And I use economy picking for this. I alternate this, down, up, down, up, down. That's your 5 notes. Then my baby finger, I start with another down. I end with a down on the 5 count, and I start my next one with a down. That's economy picking. It's 2 downs in a row. I hope my hand, watch this hand. So I'm going. The last note is a down. Then I start the next 5 count with a down. All right, do them in all the blocks. You don't have to do the economy, you can just alternate it all the time, but it's funky. You know, you can get it down that way too. Then I'll do another 5 count, you know, starting here. Then I go back to the second note that I played. Then I go back to the second note of that one. So each time you go, you're starting with 1 note down from the one you did previous. You're starting here, then here, then here, then here. I'm sloppy, but you get the point. I never really did the 4 count. So I'm just learning it in front of you right now. Whatever you want. But I don't use any of this in my playing. I use a lot of hammer-on pull-off stuff so I can play faster. And it's, you know, and so I don't even know what I pick. I just, you know, if I'm doing say I'm playing, depends on what I'm playing to. I don't think about what I'm playing. I just play, but doing these has helped me. You know, it just helps, each thing you do helps you a little bit more. But I wouldn't get over carried away with any one thing, just like I just did that. If I create riffs just off my head, you know, without a beat, I've been focusing on being able to travel in between, you know. I don't really care much about these things anymore. If you can get them, that's a pull-off one. I'm focused more on creating pieces and and creating phrases, but I don't think about a count. I don't think about what fingers I'm using. But I did all this stuff mainly just to develop the ability, you know, to alternate pick and also to learn where the notes are and get all the blocks down. So I got all the location down. I got the ability with the right and left hand to go there. And then after that, I got that. Then my phrasing just comes from whatever I've developed the ability to do, you know. So don't get too much on the 5 count, 6 count, and all this and whatever. I mean, that's all great. And if you got speed, those are mainly, I think, for people that will have a natural speed, and they're impressive when, you know, like Eric Johnson or Bonamassa or whoever, tons of other guys that light those up. It's impressive, but it's not is killer is something like Keith Richards shit-faced on stage with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth playing the intro to Honky Tonk Woman that's almost 3 notes or whatever it is. That's more badass than all the flailing anybody does on guitar, in my opinion. So anyways, learn it. Learn the notes on the guitar. That's the most important thing over everything.